Today on Transformer Tuesday, we have 3 different distributor listings and pre-order listings from the other side of the globe in Japan. These surfaced overnight, and we got some weird stuff to talk about here. We have the alt mode images for 2 of our Transformer Legacy products that we'll be talking about for Wave 3, and hopefully we'll get some better images in the near future. But we can at least make sense of what's going on here. But the big one here today is a a future Transformer crossover of a very unexpected sort, in that we're having a Transformers Canon X Transformers Optimus Prime crossover. And it's a Optimus Prime that transforms into a Canon camera, the EOS R5. Now, I'm not a camera person. I don't know anything about cameras. I'm not going to act like I know anything about cameras. But I looked up this camera, and right now on Amazon.com, this camera goes for over $4,600. So it's a very pricey camera. I'll just stick to my phone camera. That's probably the best I'll ever do in life, but that's here nor there. So he transforms into one of those very fancy, expensive cameras, and it looks like it has, from the accessory standpoint, it has a camera lens cover, which is probably going to be make a shield or something. A little matrix of leadership, which it's hard to tell from the image. Literally, the image that you're seeing here in the thumbnail is probably about as big as it gets. The little matrix looks a little different than your normal tooled matrix. I wonder how that works. I wonder if it goes into like the lens of the camera or something. And then the flash unit looks like it probably transforms into Optimus Prime's little ion blaster. Very interesting that they're doing this. I guess they probably have some kind of relationship to Takara-Tomy with Canon, and they're going to make some crazy Transformer camera Optimus Prime in the future. It says here, all these images that we have today, they come from Japanese distributor images. These are sent to distributors who send to companies to decide their pre-orders and, hey, we're doing this. Do you want to have pre-orders for it? So these are what these images are. And this says here that the pre-orders are going to be going live on August 10th, 2022, which is coming up very soon. So I'm pretty sure we'll have way more information and what's going on with this in terms of a product. Probably will be on Hasbro Pulse also. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, look, hey, it's not the first time we've had a Transformer camera that wasn't Perceptor. I mean, going all the way back to like stuff like the Transformer movie stuff, when we had like Spy Shot 6 with the Real Gear Transformer movie 2007 line, and all the repaints that came from it. I mean, look, even BotBots. BotBots had, what's his name? S.A. Cheese, which was one of those cameras, the long lens camera, and all of his repaints. And then FOMO. I mean, I literally mentioned on Twitter, like FOMO probably has had more lines than Perceptor has ever had in 40 years of Transformer history. And all of FOMO's repaints too. I mean, so there's plenty of cameras that aren't Perceptor that transform, and just within Transformers lore, let alone the early Microman history of where Perceptor came from and all that stuff, and bootlegs and other companies. And so, look, it's Canon. They probably said to Takara, hey, can we get, your leader Convoy in our camera, and we could do something like that. And then maybe they'll do a repaint retool into a Megatron or something. And then we can finally have a Megatron that could make some shots and and not be a gun. But that's a whole other story. So again, interesting. Not really something that appeals to me, but obviously there's probably some kind of market for it. Maybe the Japanese really like cameras. Who knows? I don't know. I can't speak for it. But again, pre-orders looks like August 10th, and we'll have some more images and information about it, by then. Again, August 10th is going to be literally, as of this recording, a week from now, so we probably won't have it for the Saturday night live stream, but definitely next week we'll have some updates on it. Next up, we have the 2 Transformer Legacy Wave 3 Deluxes that we talked about, that we only saw the robot modes. Now, they said that we were going to be seeing the alt modes of these characters at the Hasbro PulseCon in late September, early October. But these pre-order images here and these distributor images give us a little bit of a peek into that, of both Blanker and his Target Master, and the Combiner Dead End and his alt mode. And from what we could see, well, we'll start with Dead End, because Dead End's the one that's really interesting just from a conversation standpoint. They pulled it off. they managed to make Dead End turn into his original 1983 Porsche 928 and really get all those details, especially the headlights. Like, I was worried that, you know what, they could pull off some kind of a hatchback European sports car, but they're going to have to get rid of some of that surface detail that kind of indicates what would be a car. And a lot of times that's messing with headlights, that's messing with rear tail lights or how a grille shapes. They pulled it off. It looks really, really good. Like, I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe they work something out with Porsche. Who knows? But I mean, if they really pulled it off, it looks really good. And even the way that they did the deco for like the yellow line, I think it looks great. I think they really did an incredible job. And on top of that, they also indicate that, he comes with 2 guns, and those 2 guns could kind of mimic that original Scramble City 1986 G1, alt mode toy gimmick, where they had that blaster piece that clicked on the back of the alt mode to kind of give like a giant double barrel gun. So those 2 guns kind of click in on the back to kind of mimic that. And I mean, we saw that the same thing with the previous limbs from the Menasor with Legacy, but it's nice that they're continuing that gimmick and feeding it in some way. Again, I'm just surprised. I am really surprised they're able to get that Porsche look. That is really, really cool. I'm very impressed. And hey, kudos to you, Hasbro, when you pull off something like that. Last but not least, we have Blanker, aka Pointblank. Again, I'm kind of disappointed with how this guy turned out, considering how much I like this character. Obviously, they're calling it Blanker because they can't use Pointblank for whatever reason. And I'm pretty sure that the Target Master that's included with it, they're not going to call it Peacemaker. The Peacemaker trademark right now is with Mattel and DC because of a certain DC line right now and TV series, and obviously the character that's been around since the 1940s through Charleston Comics, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, so hey, it looks like we're going to be getting the Target Master. I'll start with the Target Master first before we get into the bulk alt mode of the figure. What's interesting about the Target Master with Peacemaker is it looks like it's just traditional Generation 1 old school Target Master. 2 pieces of mold of a plastic, folds in half, and that's it. 1 color and a secondary color. Maybe, we can't see it from this image, it's blown up here, but maybe 1 paint app, maybe on the face, and that's it. It's like they literally went back to doing Target Masters how they used to be, as opposed to what we kind of got used to with the Battle Masters with Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom, where you had minimum of like 6 to 7 mold pieces, and then, maybe 1 or 2 paint apps, and then put that together, and you got a nice articulated Target Master. In this case, it was called a Battle Master, but it looks like they're back to that traditional, mid-'80s Target Master kind of tooling. I guess that's just how they're able to pull it off. How could you pull off doing a Target Master and include it with this figure without increasing the deluxe price point MSRP price? I mean, that's probably why they just went that route. And I feel that maybe that's what also makes the alt mode suffer for the figure, because I'm telling you, man, looking at this alt mode, and again, it's not the best image in the world, but I feel like it's just missing paint completely all over this thing. Like, there's no deco. I feel like it was like molded in 2 color plastics, maybe 3, the black, the clear, the translucent blue, and the red. And then they put like, paint deco on the hubs of the wheels, the Autobot tampograph on the front of the hood, and then they maybe called it a day. Like, goodness, it doesn't look that great, I'll be honest with you. And that's a shame. But, even like, Peacemaker had kind of a deco on the side of his vehicle. That's absent too, from what I could tell here. So I kind of stand by, I think that we're going to get one that this is going to be like the show accurate, comic book accurate kind of look. And then we're going to probably down the line get a repaint retool that's going to have more paint and everything like that, and be more, anime Headmasters accurate and toy accurate later on, which again seems to be the thing now that we're seeing. We're getting toy accurate versions and show accurate versions. So I could see that. Again, I'm disappointed in this one. If you want a better Peacemaker figure, I mean, if you pick this up and you're not happy with this little, traditional 80s Target Master fold in half, 2 pieces of mold plastic kind of thing, kind of an expensive route, but, the Takara Legends LG66 Topspin came with Peacemaker, and it was a Peacemaker done in that more old, newer kind of style of transformation. And it's a better Peacemaker figure that's actually articulated. So, I mean, just a little word of advice. Granted, it's really expensive, that Topspin Peacemaker 2-pack, but if you're looking for a better version, That's one way to upgrade your Peacemaker into the modern era with official Transformer product. The only other thing I want to say about this is looking at this mold, I could still see a Armada Blur being retooled out of this. You could take you could definitely do Armada Blur and then repaint that Peacemaker accessory, which I guarantee, judging by the choices of plastics on this Peacemaker Target Master toy, the red and the black, it's gang molded into the figure. It's on the mold with it and everything like that. So chances are whatever this thing gets repainted into, it's going to come with that Target Master because it's on the mold sprue with it. And they'll just repaint it into Incinerator. His Target Master buddy, his Minicon buddy that came with Armada Blur. So I could totally see them taking this guy and turning it into an Armada Blur at some point, hopefully with more paint. Let's just hope that. But again, at least the dead end looks good. Alt mode looks nice. Robot mode looks nice. And we got a very weird Convoy camera. That's actually a good name for it. Convoy camera. Canon Convoy camera. Yeah, let's go with that. So, good stuff otherwise. Let me know what you think, guys. Hopefully we'll have more images and information in the near future on it, especially with these pre-order listings. Japan usually gets something very quickly after we get these distributor images. Let me know what you think.